Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.
Welcome back to the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. It's been a while since we've recorded, a couple of things that have thrown a few spanners in the works, so to speak. Cyclone Gabrielle absolutely rolling us over the last sort of 48 hours or so.
Shit, yeah, she's been windy, that's for sure.
Windy, rainy, chucking a bit of COVID for yourself.
Yeah, a little bit of COVID, but we're back in action now. We're all negative. So we're all good to go, and happy to be back. There's obviously been plenty of sport that's occurred since we've last spoke with you. So I guess we'll crack straight into it. Now, not the best week for us again in terms of betting. I did manage to get myself a cheeky little
a couple of good multis.
Couple of good little buzzy multis. I've been sort of going for the old on Neds. See that you go on. You've got your next to play. What is it? Next to go. You go into your sports next to go, and quite often it tends to be a little bit of table tennis, or I quite like the old esports. Jumping on, I wouldn't have a bloody clue what they're playing half the time, but just sort of chuck a couple of the favourites on here and there, 4 or 5 of them in your multi, and put a little bit of moolah on them, and I lucked out quite well the other day myself, and so maybe what we'll have to do next time is get a little future multi going for the punters. Jump on, have a go if you want, but
just a conglomerate,
yeah. In terms of what we've been sharing with you, no luck, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, not too many people would have had their money on Everton for a win in that one, based on form. We'll get into that a little bit later, I'm sure. But look, not a good week, and it could be another week for me up and coming when my loyalty comes back to bite me in the backside. But look, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. That's probably about it in terms of accountability with us checking further into the negative there. But look, early on in the week, the strike noise was getting louder and louder, but it looks like there's been an agreement over the last
I saw that
24, 48 hours or so.
I saw that popped up saying there's been a bit of a change, which is good to see.
Minimum contracts guaranteed, so it looks like per game the women are almost there with the men in terms of minimum. I think
it's like minimum salary is like 30 something.
30,000, and it ends up being like $3,000 a game, and the men's it's like $4,000 a game.
So it's pretty close.
So look, if you look at that, it's good. Just have to get them full time, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be cool. But look, it's good. It's over, and we can crack on with the season hopefully. There's been a bit of signing news.
Yeah, a couple of players coming and going.
Toa Sipley has signed on there at Manly, so I'm sure they're stoked with him. He's really come of age the last year or so and started putting in some really good performances for them, so good signing, I reckon.
Yeah, I think they'll be pretty happy to get that one under wraps, I'd say. Big boy. It's obviously
tearing it up in the middle. He loves it.
We saw what he was able to bring to them last year, and I think Manly sort of need as many of their top players fit and healthy and things like that. So to have him signed on again, we'll be happy. And news coming out of Melbourne there as well. Kamika, he's re-signed on as well.
Yeah, another good signing there. Speaking of big boys, he's another one there. Seems to be a bit of a theme of the signings this week with also Nanai.
Yeah, I saw that one this morning. That's obviously the biggest. What is that, till 2027?
2027, I believe. Yeah, so another 5 years.
So we saw what he was able to do last year. Bit of a shining star last year, I think, for them. I want sort of that mould of player that I really enjoy. A second row that can sort of do a little bit of everything, bit of a freak.
Oh, he's a freak, yeah.
So I think, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're going to be pretty happy with that one there.
100%.
Now a little bit closer to home for me, coming out of the Tigers, we've had Appy named captain at the season launch a couple of nights ago. Bit of a weird one, yeah, sort of. I not a big fan of the old
first season captain.
It's like when you play FIFA and you bring in some bloke who's got the leadership trait and you're chucking him. You can't be doing that, the bloke's not even...
You need to earn your stripes at the club.
And, obviously there was a bit of hoo-ha at the end of last season, with what he had to say about the club. And I think, what a bloke says after a couple of beers like that, you can sort of... A couple of beers and the rest, you can brush under the rug a little bit there. But, I think when you look at the rest of the squad, there's probably not really anyone else in there that you give it to.
Yeah, it's tough to say.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a really good candidate as a captain. He comes in off a triple grand final side. He's won 3 rings in his career. He's a really good candidate as a New South Wales rep. He's
take
probably
for a wee while until...
He's probably going to be one of your main playmakers there.
Yeah.
Brooksy's not really sort of a hands-on, all over the game, sort of pops up in moments here and there. He'll be looking to do that a bit more this year, but it's a good signing. But yeah, you're right. There's something that's not right about
giving it to the new bloke, eh?
Yeah, no pun intended with the Tigers, but like I said, you got to earn your stripes.
Yeah,
at the club, and the Tigers. Look, I'm sure it'll only take him a couple of games to earn his stripes, and we'll be saying what a good call it was, as he's probably going to be one of your better players this year. But I'm sure there's plenty of other candidates that have been around that could have bridged a year or two before
I think you look
someone
at
else
like,
takes the reins.
Maybe like Steph or someone like that in a few years. I can see him, he would captain the boys on the last week when they came over here for the game. Someone like him, I think, give him a few more years if he's still with the club. He could be the one running the boys out there. But I guess we go from sort of good, positive news to, depending on the way you look at it, maybe for some teams they might be thinking, fuck yeah, God, this is looking good, they're missing. But for the teams that the players are from, obviously they're not too happy with a couple of injuries, obviously, that have come from this first bout of pre-season games. And Connor Watson.
Yeah, I think this one was even just in training.
In training, yeah.
6 months there. I'm not sure what happened, but something with his knee. He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, poor bastard, eh?
Look, even though the Chooks are one of those teams they're going to be up there, but sure, it's something you hate to see for a good footy player, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll be pretty gutted, I'm sure. As will Xavier Savage. I saw a snippet this morning of him. Looks like his surgery went well.
That's good to hear.
After taking a knock to the jaw.
Yeah, broken jaw there.
Yeah, poor bastard. It didn't look too nice, I got to say, in the video. He's pretty swollen and looking pretty gnarly on the outer side there. So he'll be missing for the Raiders there, which will be unfortunate for them. We've seen
8 weeks, I think it is.
Yeah, we've seen how good he is and what he is going to be able to produce, and he's still young, and I think they'll be looking for him to come back pretty soon and get involved.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying for them as well, I guess, that want to use those first sort of weeks of the season to get a bit more experience under his belt so that they can make a charge towards the finals later on in the year. But it is what it is, I suppose. And a double big injury out of Melbourne there. Justin Olam and Ryan Pappenhausen going down. 6 weeks for Olam with a broken arm, and 6 to 8 rounds for Pappenhausen.
He'll be back in 5. He's a beast, Olam. I'm sure he'll be strong and fit enough. He'll be pumping some weights in a couple of weeks with that arm, I'm sure. You look at him, he's a monster of a bloke. And then we've got Tommy Turbo 2.0, maybe.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
Are we giving him that sort of, what's the word, moniker?
He's
Is that
getting
the
that
word?
tag soon.
The tag, yeah, you know, it's. I think I've spoke about it a couple of times about you know what. You know, he's that type of player, Pep. You know, that can change a game, you know, in an instant. And we've seen how awesome he's been for the Storm, and but the amount of games that he misses out on, and you know, you don't want to be relying. I think it's slightly different there with Melbourne in terms of the fact that they don't really need to just rely on Pep to do everything. Whereas when you look at Manly, I think a lot more of
a lot of it revolves around Tommy.
Comes from Tommy T, you know, and the fact that when he does play, he plays so well that you see it when he's not there. But yeah, it's pretty similar in terms of the injuries, I think. So, bit of a bugger. You'd be hoping for his sake that he'll be able to get on top of the injuries this year and get a little bit more footy under the belt, and hopefully, yeah, for his sake and for the Storm's sake, that he'll be able to stay fit for the I guess the important part of the season.
Yeah, look, it's a worrying trend, isn't it? Ryan Pappenhausen there, but I guess Storm, not really one of those teams too many people tend to feel too sorry for. I'm sure they'll trudge along. Reece Walsh, another one on the injury ward, another big name there. But I guess luckily for a Broncos fan, doesn't seem to be
nothing too bad.
as hectic
probably, yeah.
as
See that fucking kick
sort.
that he did.
Yeah, that was gnarly actually. Dan Carter is Jonathan Thurston.
Unreal, fucking the bloke can kick, that's for sure. But I'm sure, yeah, he'll be back a lot earlier than the rest of those fellas, and hopefully
And
we're
out for
looking
round
to,
one there,
I
but
guess, spark that the proper start of his career now. You know, as if he's playing somewhere where he's keen to be playing, and hopefully he gets on top of everything else, then we'll hopefully be able to see the best of him coming out of the Broncos there.
yeah, sounds similar to what we saw in his rookie year. I don't think he was necessarily not enjoying in that first year there at the Warriors, but the second year, maybe you're right, wanted to get out,
Yeah.
and now he's where he wants to be, I suppose.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So
Back
I'm
at
sure
his boyhood club.
we'll see the best out of him. Now last week we had obviously the start, the beginning of the NRL season in terms of pre-seasons, and we were pretty lucky enough to be able to kick it off over here on our shores in New Zealand, starting it off with a game here up here in Auckland, and pretty happy to, I guess when I found out, I was happy to find out that it was a Tigers game up against the Wires. Now we managed to get out there, got ourselves a couple of tickets for that game, and went over and had a watch. Obviously, only maybe a pinch of first graders sort of involved from both teams. You know, more sort of the reserve squads that were out there. But good to be back watching a little bit of live footy. Obviously, the Tigers got their asses handed to them, which I think if you're looking at it logically, I guess probably expected. I think, you know, we know what the Warriors were like when they last came back. You know, that first game we went to at Mount Smart, having the fans behind them and things like that, and yeah, I think probably expected, but good to get a little bit of live footy in. Good to be back at Mount Smart, being able to watch a bit of the footy and feeling the atmosphere. And I think my favourite part of it probably was every time the Warriors scored, that fucking fire shot up. 'Cause it was, I reckon, I think that's probably when I first actually had the vid. So if you were out there and you saw me at the game and you were nearby me and you ended up getting sick, apologies. But I was a bit chilly, and I'm not a cold dude, you know. I'm a shorts and tee fella. Now I was a little bit chilly. I had a big jacket on that I chucked on in the second half, but that was my favourite thing, the fire shooting up.
Yeah.
Heading us up a little bit. And then probably second favourite part of the game was probably walking back up the stairs on the way out, I'd say. There wasn't too many shining lights really to come out of the game for the Tigers. There was a couple of players I thought who played pretty well. I thought Steph had a really good game, and obviously someone that we're going to be able to see a hell of a lot more of when we do come into the regular season. Young bloke Rua Natikura he looked awesome. He had a really solid game, and a couple of good glimpses there from Staines, and I thought Wakeham looked all right, but nothing really that you can sort of walk away feeling too stoked with.
Yeah, look, I mean, how good to have footy back, first of all, and yeah, back in New Zealand. Couple of games in the first game week to kick us off, which is definitely a bit of a change in tune. But yeah, like you said, not the best in terms of first grade experience, and it'll definitely be two very different lineups come round one of the NRL season for both these sides. And yeah, it was probably a case of seeing both of the reserve grade outfits with a sprinkling of first grade talent in there. But look, to be honest, I thought it was an even game for 20-30 minutes, and then yeah, look, the Warriors after that started to click a bit more. I thought they played pretty well, while at the same time a couple of moments that the Tigers probably would just want over again, and might execute a bit better on any other given day, particularly not the first game of the season. Staines' effort there on Montoya comes to mind on the line, just getting completely bumped off. Maybe he's just not warmed up into those gnarly tackles just yet.
He was nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere near match fit enough, I suppose. A few too many errors from the Tigers compared to the Wars, and then once you give up
it was like 40 something missed tackles or something like that as well. So
once you give up a 20-point advantage, it's you're never
gonna... a couple of intercept tries in the mix as well, and you're saying goodbye. But it was good. It was a good game. There was a few more Tigers fans there than sort of what I was expecting. I kind of thought I was going to be the only one, and had my colours for a little bit. But
well, there was a good
that
5 minutes there after you scored back-to-back tries that it was like, oh yeah, this could be on. But then
there was a couple of fellas that were kept looking over at me and laughing every time the Warriors scored. And but there was that bloke that we saw outside in the Tigers jersey, and he was outside having a ciggy. I'm pretty sure that it was a relative of Jake Simpkin, because there was the dad. I don't know if it says there's a dad, there's a brother, there was a mum, and then there was a good looking lass. And the dude kind of looked like Jake Simpkin. The dad, and then same with the younger fella, looked a little bit like him. They're all kitted out in the Tigers gears, and I kind of chucked my scenario hat on, and that was my thinking the whole time. I have to have a little a scour on the Instagram or something like that actually, and see whether or not we can find any pictures. But a couple of Tigers fans there, which was it was cool. I was happy to see a few out there, which was awesome.
Yeah, unlucky though on the day. Big loss for the Tigs there, but like we said, pre-season doesn't really count at the end of the day. It's all about getting out there.
I don't think it was his missus, because the chick was blonde and his missus she's definitely...
Was it his sister, maybe?
She's definitely brunette.
Who knows? Maybe it was another family.
But yeah, we did. We had, what did we say? We said we had two games, didn't we? Here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And didn't make the trip for the second one, a little bit further offshore for us up here in Auckland. But the Indigenous game down in Rotorua, which looked that would have been an awesome game to be at. There was about 25 or so bloody pitch invaders. You see that video? Nuts.
Gnarly, Rotorua down there, they love it. Look, could have been a lot better in terms of the names that we could have seen line up for both sides, but it was a good game nonetheless, and it must have been a good atmosphere. Plenty of crowd entertainment, and first of all, those pre-match rituals, the haka and the Indigenous war dance there, pretty sick. Love to see that sort of...
Yeah, always cool to see that,
culture, I guess, on display, and they loved it down in Rotorua as well. But yeah, good game overall. What did you think? Did you tune in and watch it?
I didn't watch it actually, unfortunately, but I've seen a couple of bits and pieces. But it was I guess what I've more seen probably or more read about is I guess the Tigers' performances in the game, and heard and seen a couple of things in Naden. He looked like he had a pretty awesome performance, I thought, and from what I've seen and what I've read at least. Obviously good to see for us, like Tuki Simpkins getting a run out there as well for the Māori All-Stars, and then had Dane Laurie, obviously one of the 7 or 8 or 9 players to be called up into the squad with people pulling out and things like that. But no, I didn't manage to see too much of that game, unfortunately. Kind of just forgot all about that. Was what, Saturday, was it?
Saturday, yeah. I think it was quite early.
I would have been fucking at darts.
Was that like 5:45 kick
probably just, I had the big fucking, we're not going to touch on that too much because the darts wasn't too good, and I think that's probably because I was feeling a bit unwell. But I would have been at the Summer Open, I'm thinking, or on my way back during that time. So it probably would have been about then, so I just must have forgotten about it, to be fair.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty good game, I reckon. Yeah, great first try of the match for Docker Clay there. A little grubber against the post and rebounded back to him nicely, and he dotted under for the Māoris there. But yeah, like you said, with the Tigers playing well, it was good to see Tyrell Sloan playing well. Dotted in for a try there for the Indigenous off the back of a good move there, and love to see it as a Dragons fan.
A player, hopefully he'll be able to sort of take that next step and get a bit more footy this year.
Yeah, that's what we were saying a few weeks ago, right? Yeah, a few more games and he could be in for a good season, and hopefully that's just what he needs to spark his confidence.
Yeah, get himself, going to start the season off well.
Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell and those boys. Jesse Arthur's scoring a good try off the back of some more good work from Docker Clay. He had a really good game, I thought, for the Māoris there. Involved in a couple of good plays there, but the man of the match, Nico Hines, he won the Preston Campbell medal, I believe it is. Scored a beautiful little try with a great step. Did you see it?
I don't.
He just makes it look
I'm sure
so
I have,
easy.
yeah. I'm sure I did see it.
Just makes it look so easy. Man of the match there, well deserved, I think. He was, had his hands all over this one. Joshy Kerr gave Fisher Harris a bit of a taste of his shoulder just before half time.
Was it a big one, was it? I haven't seen that one.
Got sent to the bin just before half time, and you thought that could be it for the Māori. I think they were ahead by a couple of points at the time, but the Indigenous managed to score a try. Brent Naden on the other wing, maybe other centre.
That is one that I have seen, yeah.
Yeah, great little move there while they were down to 12, and then Jordan Rickey managed to bring the Māori back in front with about 25 to go, but then after that, Selwyn Cobbo pretty much wrapped the game up with a hat-trick. After that, it was, goodbye the Māoris. There was a little bit of a sniff late with another try for another Ricky. Don't know his first name. Not sure which club he's from. But yeah, it wasn't to be for the Māoris. Unlucky, but it was an awesome game.
Would have been nice to see.
Selwyn Cobber, another one, kind of like we said with Selwyn, with Tyrell Sloan. He's obviously had that Origin experience, but if he has a season where he's fully confident and running in hat tricks, look out. I reckon anyone that the Brisbane Broncos, Queensland, Australia come up against. Did he get a hat trick there?
Yeah, he did get a hat trick.
Yeah.
Preston Ricky,
good try at the end. He's huge.
Preston,
he's a unit, man.
He's at the Panthers. Is he
front row or back row? I think.
Yeah, is he a relative of
Jordan? I'm not too sure. I have to do some research on that one, I reckon.
Nah, it just says joining his namesake, so must not be a relative. What's this? What a run by Preston Ricky. Where is he? Oh, he's a big boy. Wow. Yeah, he'll be handy this year, I can imagine. Looks like a really handy player. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate, I guess, for us Kiwis that the Maldives weren't able to take the win there in that one. Would have been nice to see them come away with a win after, for, at least for me, having the Tigs lose a couple of days earlier. But just, I think, awesome just to have a couple of games here in New Zealand. It looked like an awesome crowd, awesome atmosphere down there at that game.
100%.
Yeah, it would have been an awesome spectacle to get along and have a look at, I think, next time. Something we might need to, prepare a little bit better and, get involved with that next time it's here on our shores, because, I think it'd be a good game to go and watch, and
Well, shit, yeah.
that way I'm not going to forget about it either, so that helps.
Yeah, I'll be keen as. Rotorua, yeah, it's definitely not too bad. I reckon if they do it again there, maybe Hamilton would be good as well.
A little bit closer for us, which would be nice.
Like if it was Auckland, that would be awesome, but we have to cross our fingers, I suppose.
Now, obviously, we've got the second week of pre-seasons to look forward to now before we get into the first game that kicks us off on the NRL, and we've both got a couple of. Oh no, you had a game as well, didn't you?
Yeah,
Sorry.
we did. Nah, yeah, that's all good.
Up against St Helens, was it?
Yeah, up against the Super League champions. There it was, I guess, their warm up for Penrith next week, and the big clash of the two champions there. But I didn't manage to catch the full game of this one, only the highlights. And it was sort of a similar theme to the Warriors and Dragons there. It was a few blokes missing from the normal lineup that we would roll out on a NRL game day, but yeah, you can't really look too deep into it. But I suppose that is pretty rich coming from a couple of blokes who support teams that did lose.
Exactly, yeah.
But like I said, pre-seasons are all about, I guess, running around, blowing off the Chrissy ham and the
cobwebs out the way, and chucking a couple of the new blokes out there and getting a couple of the young fellas an opportunity to have a run, like you said, yeah. Michael Smith, I'm sure he would have been tuning in. The world champ, he's a big St Helens fan there. Maybe not.
He would have been happy with what he saw. I don't
know if he would have tuned in, to be fair. Maybe
they were a really good side.
Game,
I liked what I saw from them. I reckon if they were in the NRL, they'd give a lot of teams a bit of strife. But no, I'm also, on the other hand, pretty happy with what I saw. A couple of difficult moments at the back for Trey Stewart, filling in for Tyrell Sloan and Cody Ramsey at the back, but it's probably the difference on the scorecard in the end, but a lot of pressure from St Helens, and yeah, they seem to dominate the game based on that highlights. So yeah, good on them.
They got a pretty I'm just looking at that squad now. There's one of my
lots
favourites.
of England internationals there.
One of my favourites there, Wellesby, from the World Cup. You've got Will Hopewadi there, Tommy Mackinson's in
their
there.
hookers played nearly 600 first grade games.
James Roby.
Yeah.
Sione Matautia, just butchered that. Joe Lussick's there.
Matautia.
Sirenen, Ignatius Parsi. Yeah, it's Connie Harrell. Did he play?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite a nice.
It's a really good team.
There you've got. I thought it said up there that it was Christian Wolf was the head coach, but that had someone different there. Paul Wellens. They must have. I don't know if that's a recent change. I swear it came up just before there. Yeah. Christian Wolf. No, I'm not too sure what that is then. But yeah, maybe he's left.
I thought it wasn't too shabby, to be honest, up against the Super League champions there. Like you said, pretty stacked team, and as long as we sort of fire a bit better, when we have Ben Hunt, Tyrell Sloan, Jack Bird back in the lineup, I'm sure we'll be alright. And yeah, I didn't really catch too much of any other of the fixtures, to be honest.
I didn't see anything else. I guess the only thing that I saw was probably the Cobbo kick, really.
The Walsh kick.
Walsh kick, sorry, not Cobbo, yeah. I think I must have seen that 6, 7, 8 times over different forms of social media. It was an outrageous kick. If you haven't seen it, you've got to go and have a look. The amount of curve he's got on that one there is just, it's unreal.
It's nuts. Dan Carter would be very proud of him.
Beauty of a kick, that's for sure. So, yeah, well done to you, Brucey. We'll be hoping, I don't know if hoping's the right word, pull out a few more of those throughout the as long as it's not against the Tigers or the Dragons, we'll be all right.
Yeah, look, we'll be all right. Yeah. Or if he's kicking in Origin, who knows? Big season ahead. You never know. But save it for, maybe Queensland derbies, and then it can be ironic, and he can be like, yeah, well, fuck you, JT.
Save it for when you play the Warriors. Get out there and...
The Warriors, that's another good one.
Last minute penalty or something like that to take the win would be nice to see. But I guess enough about what we've seen over the last few weeks, because we haven't really seen enough of it to be too warranted of a full bore discussion. We'll take a little look at the week ahead. I jumped the gun a little bit earlier on, but we've got another couple of games that we're both involved in throughout the weekend. Now, first up is your Dragons up against Souths, the old Charity Shield.
Yeah, the old curtain raiser, traditional curtain raiser for the season.
Who got it last year?
South. I think they've got it for a long time. We might have won it once in the last few years, but they've definitely been better than us for a long time.
Oh, that's the Community Shield.
Community Shield.
We want the Charity Shield.
Charity
No,
Shield.
you won it last year.
Oh, we did? Awesome.
16-10.
Fat, yeah. Hoping for more of the same, please. But look, it'll be a rough one, a tough one. Up against the likes of Latrell, if he's been named, Walker, Cook, Murray, the rest of their, star-studded lineup. But hopefully, with most of our first graders back as well, I think we have Ben Hunt named at 7.
Yeah, Hunt named,
which is always good. We'll be a lot better off than last week with Ben Hunt in the 7. Yeah, look, a lot of people picking us for the spoon this year, so
most are, unfortunately.
Hopefully we can get out there and change a few people's minds in this one.
I think it's kind of like, you look at that sort of very similar sort of feel you get looking at that squad as you do from the Tigers. Like, you kind of want to be saying that they're going to get out there and do something, but
We've got Jack Bird to come back in the 6. Once he comes back, I think he'll have a big point to prove that he can play 6 at the NRL level. He had a little bit of a crack here and there over the last few years, but look, Tyrell Sloan off a big week with the All-Stars hopefully gives him all the confidence he needs for a big season, and if we can hang in there defensively and then give those 3 blokes the footy in good positions, as well as Ben Hunt, Jack Bird, Tyrell Sloan, we should be in for an alright season, hopefully. We'll beat a few teams. Hopefully we won't end up the first team to come 17th.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I didn't think about that. That's we history then as well. The last team to come 16th then.
Oh yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
I'm sure that'll happen again sometime. There'll be someone that drops out, but
or maybe we'll go up to 18 and then we'll continue on forever. But
that's an interesting one. Have to have a little look at that. See who the first team was to finish 16th and who the last team to finish 15th was.
Look, I'm tipping the Dragons to win this one this week for the punters out there. There's a little bit of value there, just a straight Dragons win, $3.70. It's a bit of a mismatch in terms of names on the lineups, but look,
You've got the shield at the moment. You're defending it. You're going to be going out strong.
I don't see their stars getting all the game time that they would usually get in an NRL game. They're not going to play 80 minutes. I think they've still got full squads able to be subbed on at any stage. So hopefully their lads don't get too much more than a half or so of footy to terrorise us, and we can hang in there and then maybe catch up once they've been subbed off. But come on, the Mooney Saints, $3.70. Yeah, good value, I think.
Yeah, I think that's good value.
Might be a little bit biased. Might come to roomy, but look, got to be in it to win it, and we're certainly better value than South. I think they're like $1 something, $1.20.
No, I think you've gone the right way there then. Now, my Tigers up against the Green Machine and the Raiders. I mean, we've seen the team list. It's announced. We've had, I think I just had a count before, 12 incoming players, I believe it is. So we do now get to see the first team having a bit of a run out. There's no Brooksy, but not named in the squad, and now I can't remember off the top of my head whether or not he's injured at the moment or not. He hasn't been named, and then no Appy. Excuse me. So Simpkin retains the hooker spot there. But yeah, fuller of a more full strength squad.
Yeah,
more first teamers involved. A couple of debuts, which will be cool to see. The likes of Clemmer. I don't know. I don't think Bateman's involved yet. Where are we? Not too sure.
Clemmer, Bateman.
Nah.
iPat.
Staines, Pap, yeah, Clemmer.
Dewey, is he back in the lineup this week?
In the lineup. Wakem will be playing.
I mean, yeah, look, I've seen a lot of people giving shit to the Tigers after that performance against the Wars, but I mean, come on.
It's fucking pre-season, mate.
Yeah, I'm not a Tigers fan, but cut the poor young blokes some slack, I suppose. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a shit showing, but like,
I'm sure you'll be a much better side with all of those blokes running around.
You'd hope so, and it's like any team
Appy's
with new.
due to come back as well. Who else is not there? Brooks.
No Brooksy, no.
So
Bateman.
I wouldn't even really judge it on this week. To be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you look at the Raiders lineup there. They're also look to be missing a couple of players, I think, by the looks of that there. So, and obviously, losing Savage as well. They're one down straight away. So, but I think it's look again. It's a preseason game. You can't really look too much at these. I don't like how on NRL it says we're in 18th currently. I don't know how that works.
18th.
Yeah, not if.
Did they chuck?
Chuck St. Helens in there.
St. Helens involved.
Have they?
Preseason challenge, yeah, because it's a different
Well, fuck me.
competition.
There we go. So it's a battle for the preseason spoon. We've got 18th up against 17th.
And then we're sitting there in 16th.
Yeah, fucking hell, that's not good.
God.
So, yeah, a couple more players involved. Look, now.
Save your judging for the NRL season.
Yeah, we've got the Titans up first. Now, if we fucking go out there and lose by 20 then, and you want to be throwing some spoon labels at us, go hard. Because I'd probably be throwing some of the labels out there as well if we lost round one. What are we, the last game, are we? And you don't even get a game.
Yeah, we're not involved in round one, which is a bit of a bugger.
Sunday the 5th of March, 8:15. Fuck, that's a bit of a late one. Late one for your Sunday, but what have we got for Dolphins, Roosters, Sats up?
8:15,
Yeah.
not too bad. Have
Not
your
too
dinner,
bad.
go for a swim, and settle in for the footy before you go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I haven't really gone. I couldn't just go for the
straight Tigers
win. So I don't know what we were paying, but I don't think it was too flash. But
It's a bit vanilla as well.
First sort of NRL bet that we've done for the season. You know me, I quite like a try scorer, so I jumped straight in there and had a little look. Now we've got a couple of players there that are sort of named to play again, or that have been not really involved for a wee while. One of them is Sean Bloor. Now, a player that's missed quite a lot of footy due to injury, and I think he's someone who's really going to have a banger of a season. I'm hoping can have a banger of a season this year. And $5.75, he fits that mould of player that I like, that second row that can run.
He's playing back row as well.
Yeah, so I've put my money on him. $5.75. Get himself over the white line. Get himself a meaty.
It's good value.
Yeah, I'm hoping that can come off for you. And fingers crossed that I'll be starting my my NRL betting season off in a positive manner, which should be good.
That would be awesome, yeah. If we could scoop 2 of those, that'd be, well, especially for you there, that'd be close to putting you back in the positive straight away.
Yeah, very happy with that one, hopefully.
To end the weekend.
But that probably, I guess, wraps it up for us in terms of the league. Now, we've had a couple of games since we last spoke to you for the Mighty Arse. Now, obviously, as we said before earlier, looking at the accountability, bit of a shocker from us, but I don't think too many people would have picked that one. Sean Dyche's first game, they're in charge of the Toffees, and he's managed to create a goal made out of claret and blue. Dwight McNeil whips in the corner. Tarkowski heads it in. So you've had it made in Burnley there, and I think what was that stat the last time?
The last time Arsenal lost to the team
that were dead last, were they last? They were
I don't know if they were bottom.
I think they were. There was some stat, and it was the last time we lost to someone that was shit. It was Burnley, and fucking it was a header, and I think I actually can remember that game, to be fair, and it was a shit performance from us, but really, I think we were this game here pretty off. I thought Everton managed to sort of counter a lot of the way we play. I saw something the other day. I don't know who, it might have been Robbie chatting on AFTV, saying basically while we're missing Jesus, having Eddie play, we've kind of also lost Martinelli, because we need that player like Jesus who slots in everywhere. And I think he called him a black Francis Jeffers, Eddie. I think that's what he said. He's basically just there. He's not drifting out wide. He's not slotting into the false 9 or dropping back into the 10. He's just there. And that's kind of all he is. And it's not allowing Martinelli to play what we've seen of him. I don't know if it was after the Everton game. It might have been after the Brentford game, to be fair.
I mean, look, Eddie's done well. He's just not the same level as what we've seen from Jesus in terms of linking up the play, creating chances for yourself and for others in the side, particularly bringing Saka, Martinelli into it. Martinelli as well, he's very isolated with Zinchenko tucking in all the time, and Xhaka gets forward a lot rather than what he used to do was drop into left back whenever someone brought forward. Look, I mean, Martinelli's going to have, he's a young lad, I'm sure he's going to have up and down periods, but all credit to Everton though. Every time Martinelli or Saka got the ball, they were on him in a flash, and like you said, they outplayed us, and we just couldn't handle them lumping it up to big Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think we're a bit more used to cornering teams in and winning it off them high and pressing, and they were lumping it long, and he was beating our centre-backs, controlling the ball, bringing it down, and bringing a few chances for them. I'm sure he was involved in the play that won them the corner.
I think so,
but he was class that day on his, I believe, return from injury.
I think so.
Bit of a new manager bounce there. He wasn't as effective under Frank Lampard, and I'm sure Sean Dyche will be getting the most out of him with the way that he prepares his football teams, and sets up and all of that. But all credit to Everton, I suppose. They a lot better than they've played for a long time, I think.
Exactly. You credit where credit is due. There's no doubt about that. They played well. And unfortunately, we just didn't
play as well as we have.
Bring the usual game that we usually do, which I guess a similar thing that happened up here against Brentford.
Yeah, Brentford. A good chance for the lads to kill the run of 2 L's before we had to face Man City, which I suppose we did on the one hand. Although on the other hand, going into it, you would have been hoping for all 3 points for the Gunners, really. And
this one's a little bit rough, obviously. Lots of talking. You can't just put the blame on something like VAR, but this is a pretty poor thing here. For them to come out and say afterwards that they didn't put the lines up.
Yeah,
Arteta's come out and said he loves the apologies, but the only thing that is going to make him happy is getting the 2 points, which obviously is not going to happen. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate. I thought we played better than we did against Everton, but I still don't think we were up to our best. Brentford looked. I say, you've got down here whether Brentford played well or we were a bit poor. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, there were stages there where I thought Brentford did play well and stages there where I thought Brentford probably weren't up to the best of what they've been recently. And then, probably the same with us. I think the main positive to take away, Trossard getting his first goal, which is awesome.
Yeah, look, Odegaard with a lovely little ball through for Saka, who put it on a plate for him, and it was a good finish. Had to
nice finish,
get his foot to it, but bagged his first one for the Gunners. He's hoping for plenty more.
Obviously, I'm not a Premier League manager, but I like to think I know a little bit. When that goal goes in there, obviously we've been struggling a little bit to get on top of the game and get a goal in. That's what was it like what time did we score?
60 odd minutes.
59. I was going to say 59th, but around there. Not long about half an hour to go. I would have made some sort of change then, some sort of defensive change. We had Jorginho there on the bench. I don't know if he was worried that as soon as he brings him on again, maybe he scores. But maybe have done something there to try and shore up that game. We had like a 10-minute, 15-minute period before that goal did go in for them. I would have maybe liked to see something a little bit different. But it's a bit of a hard one to take. Obviously not a loss, which is good, but it does put us in the position now that if we lose tomorrow up against City, then we're kind of, we're in the shitter then because they jump ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing to obviously not have that one chalked off for offside on two occasions there, and like you said, those 2 points that Arteta wants back, they could have huge ramifications come the end of the season. But there were another couple of chances that Brentford could have put away on any other day there. Ivan Toney missing one wide and hitting the post, but I don't know, maybe we're just a little bit tired, whether we need a little bit more depth. Like you said, maybe just a couple more subs earlier on in the game when we do go 1-0 up there. But
I just think we didn't really look like we were going to be able to kill the game. It
was an average game plan, I thought, really. Like, we were just whipping balls in.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it wasn't the game plan, but like we were just whipping balls in, and they've got 3 monster centre-backs there to deal with that. And
it did seem a little bit weird. Obviously missing Jesus, and I said before, it's like something's
missing from the team, different creatively, I suppose.
Odegaard hasn't really looked as good as he had been the last few games.
Maybe just a bit tired. He's played a lot of football.
But I think, obviously we've got City tomorrow. I think it's one of those games that maybe gives the lads a bit of a scare before that game. We've got to be on top of our game here. So we walk away with a point. It's not the end of the world. It could have gone differently. But like I said at the start, you can't just rely on the referee and the VAR to get every single call right. And even if there is shocker after shocker, it's never nice to hear any team harping on about that sort of shit, So
Yeah.
We move on from it. We look forward to the big one, and I think a game that probably people will be tuning into all over the world. I'd say it'll be one that lots of people, you see those things on Facebook where it's like, can't wait for the weekend. It's like one of those, it's like a cringy quote, and then it's got 8 games of the weekend that are just unreal, and it's like the whole thing. And for years, we've never really seen Arsenal in those ones, unless it's Arsenal versus Tottenham or something like that, because we've sort of been falling away. But I saw one the other day, and it was nice to see Arsenal versus Man City there as the first one. So
giving us a chance.
Yeah, it's a big game, and I think, one thing maybe that's a bit of a positive is seeing Haaland come off with a bit of a knock in their last game.
No, true.
A little bit of talk that he may or may not be. I'm sure he's one of those dudes, but like a Ronaldo, but like an Ibra, with just built like a machine. I'm sure he'll find a way to get himself involved, and but if he was to be missing, I think that'd be a slight positive going into the game, and but you've got to be optimistic in a thing like this. There's no reason why we can't beat them. We're first and they're in second. I mean, no one expected us to be in this position. Really, we've got nothing to lose. So I'm really hoping that we can get out there. We're going to probably have the same team. I think I saw could be the 7th game in a row. I think it is.
Yeah, we had the same lineup for the 6th game in a row there. So
I don't see any reason why we can't. I'll take a draw.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. I'd take a draw.
After the draw against Brentford, we're certainly going to have to pick up our game from that one. Because, like you said, we could slip back into second there if City do manage to win. Even though we'll have the game in hand on them still. But hopefully, we can keep the difference the same, or if not, extend it with a good win. But I think it's the game everyone is sort of waiting to see where we truly are at in terms of those big games. There's been a couple of excuses thrown our way with the Man United win there, that they didn't have Casemiro. A few other excuses for the other teams there with missing players and not having the best seasons and whatnot. But Man City are right up there with us, so it'll be a tough one. And like you said, Haaland, if he can come through his niggle, which I'm sure he will for a big game like this, it'll be very tough. But I mean, you'd probably have to give us at least a little bit of a chance.
Well and truly. I saw a couple of stats.
Particularly at home, I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. And
I saw a couple of stats on BBC. I'm going to run you through them, and it sort of led me to the way I've gone for my betting as well. Now, City have dropped 13 away points this season compared to 11 in total last year.
Yeah.
The next one's a weird one. It's actually in City's favour, but City have won each of their past 22 Premier League games on a Wednesday, the longest winning run on a specific day of the week in the competition's history. So that's not in our favour. But they've only scored 6 goals in their past 9 away games in all competitions. So 2 big leading things there, in terms of hopefully for us being able to maybe outscore them. And is it going to be one of those games where it's like a 3-2 or something like that, where we outscore them. But they haven't been as flash as they are at home while they're away.
The other week when Spurs did us, or about a week ago when Spurs did us a huge favour, keeping that 5-point buffer in place after the Everton loss there. Pep was blaming the travel down to London and one of the reasons why they lost. So hopefully they can have similar problems there. And let's go the arse.
Yeah, I'll be watching. I'll be tuning in. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that we can put in a really solid performance. And 3 points would be ideal, but I will take a draw. There's nothing wrong with a draw in a game like this. But I see that we've both gone the same here this week.
Both gone to Arsenal to win.
We've both gone
with
to
our
Arsenal to win.
tips.
Yeah, we don't really want to be pushing the boat out too much on an occasion like this.
I'll take it anytime Arsenal aren't favourites as well.
$2.90.
It's nothing to
nothing.
get excited over, but it's nothing to turn your
Yeah.
nose up at the way we've been playing this season, particularly at home.
I think
Couple of slip-ups lately, couple of stutters along the way, but that was always expected with a young team and a young manager, to be honest.
we're out to $3.
$3?
We're actually out to $3 now compared to $2.30. So
that's nice.
get yourself on it. $3. And hopefully, we'll see us sort of just stretching that lead back out a little bit more come tomorrow, which will be awesome. But probably wraps us up for the footy. We'll jump into our brief foray into our other sports now. There's not really been too much cricket to talk about.
Yeah, no.
Starting up this week for us.
Aussie had a big loss up against India. I don't know if you saw that there. They didn't manage to bat the best, the Aussies.
Nah, I've actually only seen a couple of things from the Women's World Cup.
Yes,
we got rolled against Aussie.
And we got rolled against South Africa, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, bugger, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they got a good win.
But no, I hadn't really seen... Although, speaking of cricket, you see that bloody bloke in India or Pakistan. I'm not too sure. That's quite racist on me to assume that. But in what looked like a... what do they call it when you're playing in that? I said it to you the other day.
Village cricket?
No, not village cricket. Like, the subcontinent.
Oh, right.
Somewhere in the subcontinent it looked like. And this dude, ball gets absolutely smacked going out for 6. This dude manages to catch it, jumps back in, and then it's coming over and he bicycle kicked it back in the air. Did you see that?
Did not see that.
You haven't seen it. I'll get it up for you, right? It's. I thought you would have seen it. That's probably all I've seen in terms of cricket over the last few 5 or 6 days, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's bloody unreal, bro. It's.
Who knows how this cyclone's going to affect the cricket? Surely the drainage will be all right, but I'm not too sure where the games are scheduled to be. We'll have to check this out right now, eh?
Here you go. But I think it just says, oh no, he does take a wicket. I look at it. Have a gaze at this.
Oh, what?
And his mate catches it, and they slow it. They slow it down, and they give you a good look on another video.
That's
and
crazy.
he doesn't touch the ball while he's on the ground. It's unreal.
They oval.
Because who did we see recently that pulled off the nutty? There was someone in the last couple of months that pulled off an early catch as well, wasn't there not? Was it Michael Nisa? Did something like that? He did the old jump out and jump back in?
Yeah, there was something in the Big Bash. I can't remember exactly who it was.
I think it was Michael Nisa who did there was a bit of controversy about it. Michael Nisa's goat, yeah. By the looks of it, I think this is it here. So this was in January. Is it? Here we go. He's hit yeah, that was in January. So, yeah, that's been my itinerary, my cricket viewing, my cricket feasting over the last few days. I guess just waiting on.
I guess it's tough without the home cricket.
I saw I think it was the New Zealand 11 that played against England a few days ago, and I think they managed to get like 400 and something, England.
Yeah, England are doing well under BMAC there.
Yeah.
They've been a really good side there, but surely I think that one starts up tomorrow actually.
Yeah,
so
Thursday.
Hopefully
Thursday our time.
Hopefully we can show BMAC what he's missing down under here. But
fingers crossed.
It'll be a tough one, and the Black Caps they're not favourites with the bookies, so I'm tipping them $2.50 to win the test there. We're very strong in our home conditions. England are a very good side, as we've seen already, managing to score 400 in that warm-up game there, but I'm backing the lads. It's my third, I guess, home team bet of the podcast there. Well, yeah, I guess Arsenal and Dragons aren't our home teams, but teams of my heart.
Yep.
So yeah, $2.50 there. Come on, one of the three.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Now, in the world of basketball, in the NBA, recently we've had a huge record that's been broken.
I think I called it earlier on last year when we were starting up the NBA season, when we first started yarning about it. But LeBron, big news there.
Breaking the all-time point scoring in the NBA. Taking it from
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And I thought it was, you just assume, don't you? I guess basketball, Michael Jordan. That was my guess, that he was there sitting on top. I checked it. The night was.
He's in there.
He's in there, but he's not in there. I don't even think he's third.
Nah, I think he'd be in the top. I don't know. I don't even want to say.
Top NBA scorers.
I swear we had people that played a lot more seasons than him, which is all.
Yeah, and I guess it's
Will's got to be up there, surely.
LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone, Kobe, Michael Jordan, fifth,
so top 5.
There you go, yeah.
With a couple of years missing there as well. Yeah, shit, where were we?
Sorry about that
interruption. LeBron, shout out. Some big trade news in the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets have been fully torn apart after Kyrie has gapped to the Mavs.
I saw that.
KD has gapped to the Suns.
I hadn't seen KD has gapped though. So that's who does he go and join up with there?
Devin Booker.
That's got to be pretty tasty. Yeah.
Chris Paul.
And then Curry to the Mavs. That's also pretty tasty.
Him and Luka.
Where are we? Suns. Would he have played today?
I'm not too sure. He might be injured at the moment.
Chris Paul, but yeah, there's no KD there.
But yeah, a bit of loose trade news, really, if you think about it. Watch out for the Mavs and the Suns, I reckon.
Yeah,
a bit more now.
Where are they in at the table at the moment?
I'd say they'll both be up there.
Fourth and sixth.
So they'll be in the playoff run, so I'm sure they'll be well equipped with the squads they've got. But it's looking like at the moment our two teams are going to be facing off if things end the way they currently are, with the Knicks currently in 7th, 32 for 27, and the Wizards 26 and 30. I don't know,
27 and 30.
Got the win today.
Yeah, got the win today up against
into 10th.
Portland. Yeah, I think we were already.
I mean, like stay 10th.
Stay 10th. Yeah, big game there from Kuz, 33 points. KP in a nice game. Good to see Bradley Beal back playing. And a couple of blokes there that I've never really heard of chiming in there a little bit at the end there as well. But
good on them.
Nice to see.
Good one, 25 point.
Yeah, 25-point win, and we've got we had lost yesterday, unfortunately, to Golden State, but another game on Friday up against the T-Wolves. So hopefully can get another win and sort of make our way up the table a little bit more, which would be good.
Yeah. If we end up versing each other at the end of the season, it will be certainly entertaining, but it'd be good to at least, move a little bit further up so that we're a little bit more secure.
Oh, exactly.
I suppose, around our spot, but yeah, can't complain with at least being in the play-ins. That's probably about it in terms of the NBA. Haven't really seen too much else.
Yeah, I guess the
All-Stars is coming up.
Yeah, which will be good to watch. But yeah, the big news is obviously LeBron. So shout out to you, mate. Well done. And a huge, you want to come along. We say this about lots of people. There's a spot here, mate. If you're listening, get yourself,
reach out, LeBron.
Reach out, LeBron. If anyone out there knows him, Get him on. We'll be
We'll
just
have a
as
chat.
excited as that chick and that, the chick that sat next to him at the game.
Oh, 100%.
We'll be just as excited as she is. So get yourself in here, mate. We can I'll leave my phone for you. We can put it up this way and we'll squidge up. I know you're a big bloke, but I'm sure you'll fit. So if you know him, get him involved. But over the weekend, Friday here for us, we had second night of the Premier League action over there in Cardiff in the darts, and I managed to see I only watched the highlights of it, but it was nuts. Just the way that the crowd went for this is what I won my other bet on, actually, as well. Yeah, I picked the 4 quarter-final winners and I chucked $10
That's
on
right,
and got
you
about
did
$100 back, and the crowd for Gizzy was just unreal. Like the amount of booing that the English fellas were getting, and I can't remember who it was that he played in the semi-final or the final. It might have been the Asp in the final, I think, who I just am beginning to love. Sorry about that, listeners and viewers. Again, the bastard's only gone and bloody snoozed that, hasn't he, rather than turning it off. Now,
Amateur mistake.
where was I? Nathan Aspinall, a player I'm beginning to love more and more. I think it was him he was up against in the final, and mate, the booing was just unreal, and the crowd just got behind Gizzy. He managed to limp his way through sort of the quarterfinal and the semi to get there and take the win. But and then we had the start of the Players' Championships, kind of one of the formats I quite like. There's 128. 128 players start off, and it's just like a straight knockout, first to 6 legs for the first couple of rounds, and then I think it eventually goes to 7, and then it might go to 9 or 8 maybe. Yeah. What would that be? 15 legs? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, heaps of players involved, and it sort of gives you the opportunity to see a few more of the other players, not just like that top fucking 16 or top 32, which is quite cool. And a couple of my faves played in that. Matters Rasmer, and I think he was only one real. Daryl Gurney, I'm a big fan of him. Just other players that you don't get to see as much playing. And shout out to Jay, one of his faves, Ryan Heavy Metal Searle, with the lovely luscious locks. He managed to take out the win, so good to see him starting off the year in good stead. And then Danny Noppert taking the second one the day afterwards. He was looking really, really good form, but taking the win up against Whitlock in the final. So really cool to see Simon Whitlock making I don't know what they said, it might have been a couple of years. It's his first final in a couple of years, and he played awesome in the way through. So yeah, that was probably it over the last few days. We've got Premier League Night 3 will be, I'm guessing again, Friday morning here our time. So I'm leaning towards an MVG for this one. I think it's surely got to be his time to get himself a win.
He's Joe, is he?
He hasn't had a win yet in 2023, I believe.
Surely he's Joe, if he hasn't.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I can't remember who won Bahrain. I don't think he has. I think Smith won. Bahrain must have been the first one after the World Champs, I believe, and I think it was Smith won both. So yeah, I don't think MVG's had a win yet. So I'll be gunning for him. I think that's who will be taking it out this week, and we'll have another couple of Players' Championships over the weekend as well. So if you can find a way to watch that, I believe there's a way you can go through Dart Connect. I do have a stream, but I don't want to share it really with too many people, as it's bloody awesome. So maybe in the future we'll get it out there, but no ads, and seems to be just as good as TV. So very nice. But I guess that's probably us. We'll finish it there. We've probably been harping on for long enough, and we've given it a couple of bloody takes now thanks to these alarms. So
yeah, a few interruptions.
That's probably it from me.
Yeah, it's probably it from me as well. So as we usually say, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for listening along or watching along if you're on YouTube. Remember to give us a like, 5-star, subscribe, whatever platform you're on, and enjoy the week ahead.
Exactly, yep. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're having a punt, remember to do so responsibly.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
See you then.
Ciao.
Bye.
Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now world test champions.